Bumper stickers on your car give away way more information than you think. That custom sticker you made with your dog might show robbers that you're pretty outdoorsy and like to spend a lot of time away from your house or your car, leaving them exposed. Or that you have enough funds to buy a really expensive dog breed. The fact that you have a sticker saying that you have a kid on board could translate to, "I'm easily distracted and always have my hands full. It's really easy to steal my car." Those stickers that you bring from vacation and place on your car also show that you might be away for a couple of months at a time, or that you like to travel long distances. If you're proud of your family's activities, don't use bumper stickers to show it. It might lure unwanted people and give them unnecessary information, like the name of the college you go to or where you like to play golf. It's the same if you're part of a certain profession. Thieves can easily assume how many valuables they can find in your car by the amount of money they presume you make. Parking decals can even show where you work or live, which is something you should never share with strangers. The more your car is personalized, the more you'll be remembered. It's not always a bad thing, but if you ever offend someone in traffic, they'll be more inclined to report you to authorities if you have a custom license plate, a quirky color on your car, or a lot of stickers. If you don't intend to keep your car forever, you should consider what it would be like before selling it. A lot of bumper stickers on a car can steer buyers away. Not to mention, it's a real hassle to remove those decals, since they leave a lot of sticky residues behind. They can also damage the car's paint layer. However, one sticker that can keep thieves away is one suggesting that you have an alarm or tracking system set up in your car. You should never keep electronics in your car for longer periods of time. Firstly, they can attract unwanted attention from people looking for easy money. Not to mention, leaving your phone or charger at extreme temperatures can damage them permanently. The fact that you use sunscreen every day is really praiseworthy. Just remember not to leave the bottle in the car. Leaving sunscreen exposed to the sun can reduce its effects, since overheating causes the chemicals to deactivate. Specialists recommend that sunscreen be stored at temperatures below 77 degrees Fahrenheit. You should even keep those driving glasses of yours away from direct sunlight. Make sure you place them in your glove box, or take them with you when exiting the vehicle. Exposure to direct sunlight can damage the lenses and the plastic or metal frame, damaging their fit and efficiency against sun rays. If you've ever bought hairspray, spray paint, or deodorant, you've probably noticed that all these cans have storage temperature recommendations printed on them. That's why you should never leave them exposed to extreme temperatures in your car. These bottles can rapidly expand and explode. Not to mention their contents can be highly flammable. Try not to leave a plastic water bottle in your car either. If it's been sitting in the heat, you could end up consuming harmful substances like BPA, a chemical compound used in manufacturing various types of plastics. They can transfer from the plastic into the water after some time. That's why even bottled water has an expiration date on it. It's not like water can expire. It's written there so you know the date up until the water is safe to consume, safe from the chemicals in the plastic. More so, a water bottle left on the seat of a car in direct sunlight can act as a magnifying glass for the sun's rays and become flammable. If you want to make sure your groceries are safe to consume, never leave them out at an unsafe temperature. Whenever you have to buy perishable groceries, leave them in temperatures above 40 degrees Fahrenheit for no longer than 2 hours, or just 1 hour before the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Best if you can buy meats or dairy last from your grocery list. That way, you get home faster and rapidly store them in your fridge. Even in the cold season, you should never leave beverages unattended in your car. Water, juice, or soda can expand in their containers if frozen and cause a huge mess. I know it's way more comfortable to throw your damp clothes in a bag after leaving the sauna or the swimming pool. Just make sure not to leave them for way too long in your car. Those clothes can easily gather mold or bacteria that can get stuck inside tiny places in your car. Not to mention, you won't be able to wear them ever again. Hang them up to dry as soon as you get home to avoid damaging them. Hey, having fresh breath is something that I always worry about too, especially when I'm on the road. But I always skip the usual pack of gum, since it can become gooey and stick to the things in my car, especially when left in the scorching heat. It's not so good in the winter either, since it can become frozen solid, making it flavorless and dangerous to your pearly whites. Best to opt for gumdrops if you really need to keep something minty in your car. Your handbag is one of those things you should never leave unattended in your car either. We often store valuables in our bags, like the keys to our houses or our wallets, so it's best to make sure that you never leave them in your car to potentially attract thieves. If you need to leave it there, place it in the trunk. It's less visible for most cars. Your car shouldn't be a safe place for your important documents. Either shred or mail them as soon as you can. If your car were to be broken into, your contracts or tax forms might expose vulnerable information about your life. Most people leave documents facing up on their passenger seat, which makes them even more readable for curious people. Wax crayons are useful during long trips to keep youngsters entertained, but it's safer to remove them from the car or place them in an airtight box as soon as you arrive at the destination. These art supplies melt easily and can stain your car seats. Always plan your trip in advance if you intend to buy houseplants. If you know you won't be heading home straight after, make sure you purchase sturdy plants. Even mild temperatures of 45 degrees Fahrenheit to 50 degrees Fahrenheit can wilt away delicate plants within the hour. More so, if its leaves touch the windows, the cold glass might ruin the foliage. Even if it's a bigger plant, don't transport it in the trunk or let them stick out the window. And if it's really cold outside, make sure you warm up your vehicle before placing the plants in. Always make sure to drive with your shoes on, no matter how short the distance is or how hot it is outside. You might have to brake rapidly and find yourself unable to apply enough force with a bare foot. More so, if there's an emergency and you need to step out of the car, you might hurt your feet or waste time putting your shoes back on. If you like to travel with your bike or your scooter attached to your vehicle, you need to take special care of those pneumatic tires, those that are air-filled and need a pump to inflate. They're also on the list of things not to leave in the car on a sunny day. That's because the extreme heat can cause the air inside the tires to expand, at times even resulting in a blowout. Those high temperatures can also weaken the rubber, making you more exposed to a flat tire.
Seatbelt on the passenger seats has a fabric loop. When put under a great amount of pressure, the stitches on the loop rip apart, so the excess fabric can assist in cushioning the passengers. The extra few inches can make a great difference within a dire circumstance. However, there isn't one on the driver's side. As the driver is so close to the steering wheel, it's safer for them not to have one. Seatbelts were originally invented in the mid-19th century, though this technology wasn't brought into common practice until the 1960s. Pre-collision sensory technology has assisted with developing the safety of seatbelts and other features to the next level. Effectively predicting a car's collision, the technology directs the seatbelts to automatically tighten, aligning the airbags and ensuring the brakes will be preloaded to reduce shock. Every year, 6 million car accidents occur, which explains why all cars still must continue to develop safety features, not only to alleviate accidents, but to protect people more effectively within their cars. The materials that make up the body of cars only started getting replaced within the last 25 years, ranging from aluminum and magnesium alloys to carbon fiber composites. These lighter materials not only enable a more fuel-efficient journey, but they also ensure that when a car is in an accident, its build provides a crumple zone. As a car hits another object, the crumple zone absorbs energy from the collision. Although this would appear to cause more damage to the car, it helps prevent impact on the passengers. Front and rear bumpers are very underrated, and due to their long history of being used in cars, you can't imagine a time we didn't use them. They were invented in the late 1800s. The bumpers evolved over the years to the point we don't even realize we have them. But they're there, quietly waiting under the outer covers, consisting of compressible foam or plastic around a rigid reinforced bar. All the windows of your car are made of glass, but the windshield is made of a shatterproof version. It's laminated, so whatever might hit it, you can be sure there won't be any shards of glass falling into the front seats. Normal glass was used up until the 1950s. As vehicles became more prominent, they made modifications to ensure safety. Airbags seem like another common feature that has always been there. In fact, they were originally invented in 1968 and were ahead of their time. They slowly gained popularity, and through safety precautions for cars, they eventually became mandatory for all cars to have, only in 1998. They have since developed from just being an airbag within the steering wheel. Today, depending on the vehicle, they can be located throughout the car, ensuring all potential passengers will be protected. Crash sensors connected to an onboard computer detect when a collision occurs and trigger the bags, inflating within milliseconds and providing a cushioned safety within a blink of an eye. It can be difficult to predict the weather, and even more so to determine traction on the road. In the late 1960s, anti-lock braking systems, ABS, were implemented in vehicles. Before that, they had been used in many aircraft, with designs going as far back as 1908. They soon became a necessity for all vehicles, ensuring traction is maintained on slippery surfaces and that there is complete control when braking. Today, ABS has advanced so much that the latest variations ensure further detection when there are strong crosswinds. Cruise control, initially invented in 1948, has been in constant development over many decades. Today, adaptive cruise control ensures that when the car is cruising at a constant speed and detects a slower car ahead, it will then adjust the speed to match the car in front. Other advanced variants may also ensure the car will make a complete stop once identifying that the car in front has done the same. It's easy to forget to have your high beams on when driving on the long and lonesome road for many hours. Automatic high beams are quickly becoming more common. High-tech camera modules can easily determine what type of light is passing through and help ensure when the high beam will be necessary. Although versions of automatic high beams have been around since the 1950s, they counted on light-sensitive sensors and were very unreliable. The new varieties can identify the sources of light, whether it's from the sun, directly from a car's light, or even from the reflection on a sign, ensuring you won't cause issues with other drivers. It's a pain in the neck to have to ensure there isn't anyone creeping into that semi-visible corner, the blind spot, which causes around 400,000 accidents per year. Solar sensors within rear bumpers of vehicles and blind spot monitoring systems watch and identify adjacent lanes. They alert the driver that a vehicle may be in the lane beside them, whether by flashing lights on the dash or from beeping sounds. This way, they help to alleviate the many concerns the blind spot causes. 1.6 million road accidents are caused by texting and driving, and fatigue normally causes up to 10% of all car accidents per year. The driver attention monitor helps to alleviate both statistics. It works through sensors that monitor the car's movements and the amount of steering corrections to ensure the driver is paying attention to the road. When the system identifies that the driver isn't completely awake or is slightly distracted with their phone, it will prompt signals to suggest it's time for a break. Tires are among the most critical components for your car, with a close relationship with whatever path you take. Many safety features rely on the tires themselves for their own independent purposes. That's why it's super important to ensure the tires are always in top condition. Tire pressure monitoring systems check the air pressure of all 4 tires, ensuring you're aware when they need their pressure increased to avoid the risk of a blowout. The constant evolution in technologies continues to ensure you stay safe on longer stretches of the road. Lane departure warnings focus on the lines on the road, ensuring the car stays within. Whenever a car starts drifting over a line in the road without signaling to do so, the camera-based feature identifies and signals to the driver. The lane keeping assist feature follows the same method of identifying when the car is intruding the bordering lane. When it gets too close, it will readjust the steering and center the car within its appropriate lane. Other features in more advanced cars have autonomous driving capabilities. The autopilot systems have taken cruise control to the next level. Not only does it allow the vehicle to steer itself in the intended lane while maintaining a set speed, but it also changes lanes when required, making the ride more and more efficient. Some safety features are only just making a trend in car models worldwide. For example, night vision using thermographic cameras to look out for pedestrians and animals nearby. It goes within the infotainment screen, facing frontwards and identifying objects from their heat signatures. It's estimated that there are over 1.4 billion cars in use worldwide, and as the world's population increases, it's expected that the number of cars will follow suit. Safety features will continue to adapt further beyond what we know of today. Infrared headlights will be further adapted to be used in conditions with poor visibility, like storms, snow, and fog. They'll be capable of enhancing the visibility of the driver in all conditions without affecting the sight of passing drivers. Driver override systems will soon be able to monitor and identify human behavior. Whether due to reckless conduct on the road or for other safety precautions, cars will soon have the functionality to take complete control of themselves, ensuring both the passengers and the driver's safety. Augmented reality windshields are in early development already, providing some indicator reflections from the dash onto the windshield. So it's quite possible that soon all necessary directions from maps and alerts will appear right in front of the driver to ensure they never take their eyes off the road. Airbags will soon not only just be used within a car to ensure the passenger's safety, they will also activate from the outside of the car once they identify a definitive collision. The airbags will inflate outwards, covering the entire outside of the car and drastically reducing its impact. It may be so advanced that the bodywork of the car won't even need to be buffed out. The future technology of cars is expected to be so progressive that the cars themselves will have their own form of communication, not with human drivers, but with other cars. Just imagine cars communicating and sharing information as they identify roadblocks, issues on the road, or disruptive weather patterns. It will all ensure the most efficient and safest route possible.
If you see this padlock on your car, you might find a note attached with a number for you to call. The number is for a nearby scammer or thief, hoping you'll call so that they will charge you to remove the lock. Once you transfer the money, the scammers will give you information on where to find the key. It's usually not too far away from the car. They know that removing it yourself will cause damage to the paint. The best you can do is call the police immediately. Here are a few tricks up the car thief's evil sleeves they don't want you to be aware of. Older cars are their favorite, with decades of knowledge on how to access them. They understand those vehicles lack any alarms. They use manual window rollers and no tracking devices. The thought of a target as easy to steal as this is enough to cause them to salivate. Cars that are older than 20 years tick the box for all these red flags. Though you might think your car is so old that it's not worth much anyway, the thieves mostly want the parts. The parts in the old cars are worth a lot more than you would think. Supplying the valuable insides to the right buyer ensures they're worth the risk. An easy way to prevent your older car from being stolen is simply applying a steering wheel lock. The sight of that will deter anyone who's acting suspiciously nearby. The thieves' unfortunate attraction sometimes isn't towards the car itself, but what's within. Your iPad or other electronic devices clearly visible on the seat would be an easy steal. They're not bothered by quick smashing, grabbing, and running. A few $100s of gear for a couple of seconds of work is a very appealing situation. So make sure you hide your valuables, preferably in one of the many hidden compartments, or lock them up in the trusty glove box. Statistically, 1 out of 6 car owners in safe neighborhoods keep a spare key inside the vehicle. Some owners think this is smart and can help save time in case they leave the primary key in the house. Bad guys stroll through unsuspecting neighborhoods late at night on a regular basis, checking every car just in case they hit that lucrative 6th car. Never be too careful with your keys. Public parking lots are extensive and can stretch over large areas. They're also a goldmine for those lurking quietly on the outer edges, eyeing off the cars furthest from the security cameras. Decent security is generally lacking at those large parking lots, so try to find the best spot closest to the shops. There are ways to park your car to make it problematic to tow or drive away. Park it so the front is facing inwards, ensuring there is an obstacle, like a light or a guardrail there. If you're parking on the street, turn the wheel towards the curb, locking it into place to make it harder to steal in every way. Would you believe those car thieves also have communities of their own? Each thief has their own specialty of a car brand or type. They will trade intel with the other crooks, so if their experience isn't enough to access your car, they will know someone who trades their knowledge for something viable in return. Cars with alarms are a great deterrent from thieves. If your car is a bit outdated, there's no harm in putting a fake sticker on it. The sticker alone is enough to discourage a would-be thief as they briefly scan the assortment at their disposal. Most people are sure that a newer car is safer, with groundbreaking technology to prove it. But ultimately, there are newer, more sophisticated forms of car theft. Keyless systems in cars use a random process through key fobs and smartphones. Using a short-range signal allows for the owner to access their vehicle and start the engine. Relay thieves will use wireless transmitters working as pairs. One will hold their gadget close to the owner, capturing a signal that specifically relates to the digital key. It then relays it to the target vehicle. The accomplice, standing closer to the car, obtains the relay signal, tricking the car into thinking the key is within range. Once the thief is inside the car, the process can be repeated, then easily starting the car. From there, the entire system can be reprogrammed to respond to a new key fob. They can use the same process by just opening the doors and accessing the valuable contents within the car. It ensures the thief can remove what they like without setting off any alarms or smashing any windows. A further form of deceiving these newer models is through their diagnostics. With all that has been fitted into all cars within the last 10 years, copying the same technology and software allows systems to be simply understood and vulnerable. Computer experts easily develop devices that plug into key ports, booting up the vehicle software, and from there can program their own blank key fob. To avoid these new age concerns, keep cautious when leaving the car in a public area. Ensure you hear the locks functioning and inspect from a distance that there's no change with the side view mirrors. When you leave the keys overnight at your residence, wrap them in an aluminum tin or a signal blocking box, ensuring your car can't be hacked while you sleep. Or simply just turn off your fob when you're not using it. As technology continues to progress, applications will continue to develop. They will not only lock and start your car, but will be capable of controlling it. Those progressive technologies will bring along new advanced methods of accessing your car. To counter this, ensure all your software is updated and safeguard your entry code with something better than a password. Bad guys do prefer older vehicles, but keyless car thefts are growing exponentially. Today, most stolen car thefts are keyless. Thieves are quickly developing how to adapt to the new age of vehicles within their reach. Although there are protective measures in place for newer cars, the technology is only for the short term. When purchasing a newer model, always be open to whatever security options are available. Who knows what the future will hold for the safety of your smart car? Consider buying a baby monitor and hiding it in the back seat. It will ensure you have a very affordable surveillance monitoring system ready to alert you of a sudden break-in. Hot wiring older cars is the main form of stealing them, so install an off switch to your car's engine. A professional can install them for you in multiple locations in your car. They will ensure that the power has no way of reaching the ignition of your car and no thieves will be able to drive away with it. Install a removable wheel and take it with you when not using your car. Thieves won't carry around their own spare steering wheel, regardless of how talented they think they are. A wheelless car will make certain thieves will stay clear. A steering lock is also a great option. It completely covers your wheel and functions similarly to the wheel lock for older cars. Extended stays in a parking lot could still be a risk without a steering wheel. A tire lock is a great alternate option. Although it takes a long time to install, it will serve as an excellent way to deter the bad guys, as they won't be able to drive away in your car. Given how fast the criminal must act to get into a car and escape, they don't have the time to search the vehicle for any tracking devices. Although older cars lack this technology, they're easily available to purchase. You can easily hide a GPS tracker, some of them smaller than a phone, inside your car. It will give you and the authorities an advantage when tracking down your beloved ride. In the USA, a car is stolen on average every 36 seconds. The top 10 cars stolen are the Dodge pickup, Honda CR-V, Toyota Corolla, GMC pickup, Nissan Altima, Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, Honda Civic, Chevrolet pickup, and the Ford pickup. A $7.4 billion loss was estimated in 2020 due to car thefts. It was the highest amount in 10 years, and it's logical to expect that the number will continue to grow further. Given the range of cars within the thieves' target area, It's clear that all cars are potential targets. Is your car on the list?